Howdy, boys, girls, guys, and squads, SOCLOSETOTAZT. Welcome to the YouTube channel. Welcome back. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Hopefully having a wonderful day. And today, we're checking out another SunnyV2 video. I mean, this guy, he just makes content on people that I'm interested in, even things that I grew up on. Today, this one might be a little bit more of a darker video because it's talking about the tragic tale of, I think you say it as Zyzz. The only way I think I really heard about him or knew about him was because I would listen to hardstyle music, and then a lot of people would be posting Zyzz in the comments, and I'm like, what's going on here? And then I found out he was like a motivational bodybuilder, and he motivated a lot of people to turn around their lives. And still to this day, there's like, even in Twitch chat, there's like an actual emote that is him pumping his fists and doing like a dance move. So the video might be a little bit sadder. I'm interested nonetheless because I don't know too much about this guy. I just always kind of heard about him or knew about him from the early days of the internet. So let's waste no more time. Drop the L, hit the bell, get right into it.
Prior to his untimely death at the age of only 22, Zyzz had become an icon. Everything about him represented the never-ending struggle between success and hardship. His physique, confidence, and status seemed effortless from the outside. However, on the inside, Zyzz was constantly at war with himself. He battled with deep insecurities, a feeling of apathy, and an undesirable position of fame to the point where he wouldn't even leave his own house. Yet, as a result of making his struggle public and relatable to an online audience, Zyzz would become one of the most well-regarded fitness influencers of all time, ending his physical transformation looking like this, and this. Although in the beginning, at a time when his main hobby was playing World of Warcraft, he looked a little more like this, and this. Zyzz explained that, "I was ridiculously thin. I'm talking the skinniest guy in my grade school. People always commented on how skinny I was and I hated it. I was always known as the skinny kid. I remember feeling like a little bitch when I was out with girls, walking next to them and feeling the same size as them." On the contrary, his older brother Saeed had begun to gain some size after going to the gym regularly, with Zyzz also adding that, "I started going clubbing every weekend and always noticed whenever a jack dude walked by. They had a presence a lot greater than that of a normal person. The guys respect them and the girls are all over them. And really, who wouldn't want that?" It was after making this observation that Zyzz decided to embark on a fitness journey of his own. At the age of 17, he sold his World of Warcraft account for $500 before spending the money on a one-year gym membership at Fitness First Carlingford in Sydney, Australia.
He got out of one addiction and went to another, it seems. But that is probably what resonates with a lot of people, his story. He's just a gamer.
Like 20 hours a day, and then at one point he's just like, I'm done. So he sold his account, $300-400 of it he spent to get a membership at Fitness First.
Zyzz explained that after signing up for the gym, he'd have his most embarrassing moment by stating, "When I was starting out, I went to do chest by myself, had the bar plus 5 kilos on each side, tried to go to 15 reps, couldn't get the last rep up and it was stuck, and the biggest guy in the gym came running to help. He got it off using one hand, LOL." Accompanying Zyzz's embarrassing chest day was the creation of his first YouTube channel on the 28th of July 2006, titled 7Zyzz7, where he began to document everything in his life from fights at McDonald's to his opinions on music. However, the most interesting thing that he'd eventually capture stage by stage was without a doubt his body transformation. Only 1 year after failing to bench 30 kilos, Zyzz had put on a respectable amount of size, and with it his reputation would shift from the unconfident skinny kid to an outgoing guy on the internet who would frequent the Sydney party scene with his brother. Now Zyzz was still far from famous at this point. Sure, his physique was certainly looking better than it was.
It's funny what we will do just for a little bit of attention from our peers. Isn't that crazy if you really think about it? Not to try and get too deep, but I mean, we're getting deep. We're going to get deep in this video.
In the beginning, but his transformation wasn't nearly complete. However, when looking at a post made by Zyzz to the bodybuilding.com forums, it's obvious that he planned on continuing the grind, stating that this is what he wanted his body to look like in only 1 year's time. While this kind of transformation after only 12 months seemed almost impossible, a photo posted 1.5 years later showed that Zyzz had made his goal a reality, yet unfortunately he would also add that it hadn't been achieved naturally. A forum post by Zyzz explained that he had begun his first trend/sus cycle in April of 2008, only 1 month after his 19th birthday. And while this might have been somewhat disappointing for those following his fitness journey, there was no denying that Zyzz looked absolutely incredible. Standing at 6'2" with some fresh new tats and an absolutely yoked physique, Zyzz represented something like the ideal masculine image.
He was the voice for all the skinny dudes out there who wanted to get bigger and get attention or get girls or get noticed or get respect.
And did he get all those things?
Yeah, he did.
However, this wasn't even the primary reason behind why people began to love him. It was that he had this image, yet he tried not to take life too seriously, breaking the overly serious gym bro stereotype.
The Zyzz persona was just an act for social media. Zyzz created Zyzz to be his perfect representation of who he wanted to be and who he played up to be for his perceived stereotype based on his appearance.
That's a dangerous game. That is a dangerous game.
He would state in an interview, "Personally, I'm a very friendly and happy person."
I mean, if we think about it, at the time, he's starting off so early where in hindsight, we can say that's a dangerous game. But in the beginning, when he's doing all this, it's not really been looked at. The internet still is so fresh and new at this point in time.
And believe that people need to lighten up and enjoy life more. Even though I put on a lot of size and to some look intimidating, I'm one of the friendliest people you can meet. I love playing up my perceived stereotype, and at the end of the day never take myself seriously, which is one of the reasons that I've accrued the fan base that I have. Now sure, it's obvious that Aziz Shayversian, the real Zyzz, built his physique in real life for serious reasons. However, online, Zyzz was more of a character that represented the classic fitness douchebag. He even clarified in one of his video's descriptions that Zyzz is not a person, Zyzz is merely a personification of a way of life. With this being the goal, he began to build a reputation for being somewhat of an online troll.
Political views, whichever politician is most aesthetic. Barack Obama's pretty aesthetic for a politician, so he deserves to run the country.
What's your religion? Shredology. The belief that transcendence of life into heaven is achieved at 6% body fat. A complete euphoria and sense of accomplishment overcomes the shredder, entering almost surpassing the majestic boundaries of human emotion. What quality do you value most in your friends? Body fat percentage. In the process of playing this character, Zyzz would deepen his legacy by seemingly inventing or at least popularizing a whole new gym bro language. Phrases such as you mad, you myron, fwak, brah, and come at me bro seem to make up more than 50% of Zyzz's vocabulary, and while you might say that these phrases were common before Zyzz, he certainly popularized them even further. In addition to transforming his vocabulary, Zyzz would also see a complete overhaul in his success with women. In a forum post he was asked, how much attention did you get
triggers people, you mad,
before working out, to which he'd respond, none. I never hooked up with a girl till after I finished school, yes, strong loser. Never cared about the way I looked, did my hair, etc. But that's because I had no self-confidence. As soon as I started going gym, my confidence skyrocketed, and I have no trouble approaching or talking to any girl, and most of the time they come up to me, serious. Now, in all honesty, I wouldn't be able to count how many girls I've hooked up with, lol. Maybe a few hundred or so in the last 3 years, lol. Zyzz had gone from a guy who felt inferior next to girls because he was the same size as them, to a guy who, when messaged by hot girls, simply used it as another opportunity to troll. Looking good.
Be able to do that, like, just mentally, like,
would appreciate and accept.
You don't catch hundreds, dude? You don't, like, talk to one and, like, hey, what's going on in your life a little bit more and get a little bit deeper, and then you catch feelings? Hundreds?
So we can chat. Thanks.
Yeah.
Hey darling, awesome to have you as a friend.
Do that?
Appreciate your offer, but no thanks. You are 7 out of 10 at best. And because I'm a lot more beautiful than you physically, I do not think there is any reason as to why I must undertake a chat with you, as I would only do so with people who are on my par genetics wise, so as to pass strong and attractive genes to my future children. Unfortunately, I'm afraid you would bring our children down 2 points, and judging by your risque DP and ability to message random guys out of the blue, you're more than likely a whore. Thanks for the ad though, hope we can still be friends. Zyzz often posted these hilarious exchanges to his Facebook, resulting in over 400,000 followers, which then gave him the opportunity to feature in Underbelly and another show titled The National Road Trip. Additionally, Zyzz would launch his own protein label and a book titled Zyzz's Bodybuilding Bible, both of which performing quite well upon release. However, shortly after achieving such viral success, Zyzz began to notice how much fame was becoming a burden on his life.
Wow.
That's a lot to take.
He's being kind of a bit of a troll, you know? That will birth some negativity towards your way.
Taking for a 19-year-old that amount of fame to hit you that hard. Because of that pressure, you started using more drugs, more steroids.
I started saying no to photos and people just thought I was a dickhead. I'm not joking how many photos I get asked for. At a festival, it's up to 400 to 500 sometimes. First few months was like, whoa, this is awesome. Other times you can't be effed, and I feel sorry for my mates who have to put up with it now when they're out with me. I would have never expected it to get like how it has. In addition to being asked for hundreds of photos per festival, Zyzz would make a post to the bodybuilding.com forums explaining that every time he'd go shopping, people would yell at him, come at me bro, or you Myron, and that he'd rather the video that had made him so famous never have been posted in the first place. More negative press would cultivate after his brother Chesbra was arrested for possessing anabolic steroids in mid-2011, with news articles on the topic featuring Zyzz's photos, simply because he was the more famous brother, which became even worse after a video would surface of Chesbra stating that Zyzz was actually the one who introduced him to steroids.
Surprisingly, it was Az. He was the one that introduced it to me, even though everyone thinks it's the opposite way around because I'm the older brother. He was the one who introduced me to it. Every week he'll jump on the scale and he'll be like, look, I'm a kilo heavier this week. Next week he'll be 2 kilos heavier. The week after he'll be 3 kilos heavier. And he'd look at me and Babbo and he'll just laugh at us. And I was thinking, what the f*** going on? Like, this guy's putting...
Oh, he became what he kind of hated in a way. But still, this is... What kind of brother is friggin' snitching on his brother like this?
Putting a kilo on every week and getting leaner and fuller. And he's eating like a horse. Like, something doesn't add up.
The immense pressure put on Zyzz not only cultivated a refusal to leave the house unless he had friends around him.
He used to be scared just to go out in public, bro, that he needed to bring 2 or 3 of his mates everywhere he went just because of the anxiety and the paranoia that he used to get from going out. There's a lot of things that Zyzz was feeling on the inside of his mind as well that a lot of us can really never tap into unless we knew him personally, you know what I mean?
But he'd also adopt the attitude in a Facebook post that he no longer wanted to be Zyzz at all. I'm sad to announce that I have officially finished with training, festivals, and being Zyzz. I want to move my life in other directions, and have found myself far too involved in a lifestyle with no genuine substance, meeting far too many fake people.
He was so early on as an internet celebrity too. Like, it got so out of hand.
People/girls who, if I didn't look the way I did, would have never given me the time of day.
I bet a lot of YouTubers feel this way,
than partying. 4 months after making this post in August of 2011, Zyzz would board a flight to Thailand for what seemed to be a much-needed vacation. Given the timing, it was likely that Zyzz was simply trying to get away from the chaos back in Sydney, although what was waiting for him in Thailand would prove to be much worse. Scarily enough, Zyzz had actually predicted his own death on multiple different occasions. When asked, where do you see yourself in 20 years, Zyzz responded with one frightening word: dead. And while this response was probably somewhat of a joke, on the 5th of August 2011, while sitting in a sauna in Thailand, Zyzz would suffer a heart attack from which he would never recover.
A well-known Sydney bodybuilder has died after collapsing in a sauna in Thailand. Doctors say the 23-year-old had an undiagnosed heart condition, but some say a growing obsession with body image is dangerous.
As mentioned in the news report, it was discovered that Zyzz had an undiagnosed heart condition which could have killed him at any time, although of course many have speculated that his use of PEDs helped in causing his death sooner rather than later. More concerned with how his brother was going to be remembered, Chesbra would upload a 19-minute long tribute video titled Zyzz the Legacy, which to this day has gained over 16 million views, with the comments perfectly summing up the positive impact that Zyzz made during his time on Earth.
Oh man, it's like that and you just don't even know. Got me thinking, dude, what's going on inside here? We okay? Ladies and gentlemen, there we have it. The tragic tale of Zyzz. And it truly is, because it starts off with somebody who just wanted to fit in. I think we all, in a way, have body image issues one way or another. I know I do, and I'm not afraid to say it. But he took his obsession, and I'm sure what he was getting out of it, all the attention, felt great. But the trade-off of then getting so much attention you can't even be a normal person anymore, that's what people don't think about when they say, I want to become famous, I want this, I want that, and then they're in that position, and it's not so good there. When somebody, I mean, he's 22, he barely had his life going. He had so much life ahead of him, and it's just upsetting that he probably could have influenced even more people and maybe gotten out of this and figured it out, because when it happened, it was so early on in this whole internet sphere. You know, I started this channel in 2011. So like in the grand scheme of everything, like he was just there in the beginning. And I could imagine that he would be here today doing something probably way healthier, and he would have used, you know, his coming up and all the mistakes in his story if it didn't end so tragically. Definitely interesting. Did you guys know about Zyzz, about this guy before this video at all, or no? Maybe you did, you just didn't know it. But let me know in the comments down below, and I'll see you on the next one. Peace out. Shake 'em and